Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Talks with My Dude podcast. I'm your host, NickMyDude. And today I've got another repeat guest. We've got Scuddington. How you
It's
doing?
good.
Scud. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
I think last time you were on, we had just talked about, or season 4 Strive had just come out.
I think it was like
Not
the
long
due
after.
dates before. Yeah,
Or, yeah, it
something
was
like that.
something close. Well, welcome back. We have had most of a season for Strive since the last time you were here.
Most
You've
of
been I say
oh
most of the season. I mean for Strongest into Heaven, which is our mutual friends tournament. John Tider. It's
yeah,
supposed
because
to be weekly, but
season three's been a bit hit or miss on the days.
yeah, it's been
Yeah, season four.
interesting.
Season four came out like halfway through the season two of Strongest.
Yeah, we've been on it since roughly Thanksgiving time. I think that sounds right in my head, but that might be off by a month.
Yeah, the Venom delay really messed up like the timing for everything. Venom came out like 2 months ago, a month ago, and now Unica's out.
Yeah, and because Venom got delayed, and then yeah, so it's been a while.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
Venom's delay messed up my like clock on Strive because now I feel like we've gone through like 2 seasons.
And then we're not there yet. Season 5, save us, please.
Uh, a balance patch before Lucy comes out, hopefully. But
Who even knows at
I
this
don't know.
point?
I've been having a lot of fun with this season. I know like a lot of people say that it's like the game is unhealthy, and I agree somewhat. But I also feel like it's this is like the best state it's been in, at least ever since I played. But then again, I play Sin, who's like an arguable top five, but definitely in like that top section of the roster.
Yeah, for anyone who isn't following along, Guilty Gear Strive Season 4 came out toward the end of last year. John Tider, who's been on the podcast before and is a good friend of ours, runs a weekly Guilty Gear Strive bracket. And Season 4 came out during Season 2, which is when Scud and I first talked about it. And now we're almost through Season 3 of The Strongest into Heaven, which Scud and I still play in, and we're talking about now. Just so everybody's got the timeline in their head.
In case you didn't know, Guilty Gear is an anime fighter.
In case you didn't know, Guilty Gear is an anime 2D fighter made in probably Unreal,
I think so.
made
It's been
by
a
Arc
long
System
time since I've
Works.
seen that. Go through the whole.
It's Unreal, yeah. Yeah, I remember when you boot it up, it gets the emblem or the whatever the icon. So yeah, so that's
I
where we
just skip
are
it every time.
now that we've actually been in Season 4. Because last time we talked about it, we hadn't played it yet. I've got some thoughts.
Oh,
I think overall, I agree with you that Season 4 is not really all that bad. I think that there's just a couple of pain points that are really bad and have made people not so happy.
cough, Potemkin, cough.
Potemkin's kind of crazy. Ram basically getting everything. Johnny is now top one. It's
I haven't
interesting.
fought enough Rams to really have that opinion, but I know that when season four came out, she was a massive problem. But now that it's been a while, I fought maybe 2 Rams. I haven't seen enough of her gameplay. But then again, I saw a little bit of the was it Japan Evo when Red Ditto
Yeah.
won?
No, that was. I thought that was Arxis World Tour. I thought that was
It
like the
might
big
have been.
one.
We
I'm pretty sure that was Arceus World Tour, the big Strive, like crazy tournament that you like earn points to go to. Because it was Evo Japan and Red Ditto, I think, was in finals but didn't win. Because that's the one Daru Ino won. And then we just had Combo Breaker. I think that's the timeline. And Ram won. So Ram won Arceus World Tour, or whatever the big end of year event for them is called, for Guilty Gear is called, and then I think was in finals for Evo Japan.
let's see. Congratulations. Yeah. So
Daru Ino won.
Red Ditto won Arc World Tours.
Yeah, and then Daru Ino won Evo.
Yeah, right.
on and if anybody doesn't know, they play Eno, which is like actually a really crazy accomplishment. Considering I
I
don't
mean,
think
for
Eno has a good matchup into Happy Chaos as far as I'm aware, and there was 4 Happy Chaoses in top 8.
oh yeah, no, that's fair. Actually, now that I think about it, I was thinking I don't think Eno is too like. I think Eno's always kind of been a strong character. It's just that there's always been a meta pick that like counters her, and she's been slowly working her way up the ranks of tier list for a while.
Yeah, small buffs here, small nerfs to other people there. Just
But when you phrased it like she had to fight like 8 Happy Chaoses, it was like,
there's a
oh
yeah,
yeah, that'll do it.
yeah. Which is wild, by the way. If anybody's watching, I don't think I've seen a fighting game tournament, and I've watched not like a ton. I've only gotten to fighting games the past couple years, but it's like to have 4 of the same character in top 8 is actually not a good sign for how good a character is. Like in a bad way. Like I don't know if your fighting game has 4 of 8 are all the same character, and it's like a consistent thing. Like that's a problem.
Yeah, it was. I can't find any images, but I remember it was like 4 Happy Chaoses, an Eno, and Sin.
And I think a Gold Lewis or Ram. I can't remember. It was crazy though.
There's another tournament somewhat recently that had a pretty
Yeah,
decent spread of
combo breaker.
characters.
I think had a which is this past weekend. I think
Yeah,
had a really
Combo
good spread. I know Nitro got third, and I only know that because I did follow that uh Nitro plays bike or not bike plays Giovanna who I play. So I'm always watching Nitro because Nitro won Evo 2023 or the 24 as Giovanna. It had to have been 24, right? Now I
for
gotta
when
look.
he won Evo. It had to,
Yeah,
yeah, it had to have been 24 because that
uh,
was
that's how they got their invite
that
to.
was the, that was season 4, was it?
No, it was before season 4. And I only know that because I remember seeing Guard Crush Travau in one of the
Uh,
matches, and that does not exist anymore.
I mean, it's plus. There might as well be Guard Crush.
It's plus until it isn't.
I need to do more labbing on Unica's Guard Crush.
Speaking of Unico, we got another new character. I think last time we were complaining about Slayer. This time we've got this is what day 2 for Unica.
Yes, because she
Literally
released.
day 2.
Yes,
Uh, all I can
she
say is
released
she feels
Night.
less gross than Slayer when Slayer came out. So that's good.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, she does have to work to get her combos started, but once she's got them started, it's not too difficult. But she does play differently than the rest of the cast, just with her buttons. She's just
Mhm.
kind of weird. You do 2H into 2H.
Also, this is gonna sound really weird, and I'm probably super wrong, but every time I've watched a few gameplays of Unica and play against Anakin's. Unica or Unica. I swear I take more damage off a raw hit than a counter hit. Like at the end of the
Yeah,
combo, like when the combo ends, I've taken more hits and more damage off of the counter, off of like if I just missed a block or something and not get countered.
do you know what most of her buttons look like?
Uh, kind of.
Because like, are
Uh,
you getting countered by a close slash or by an H button?
H buttons.
Yeah, because the only like practical follow up for her at that point is to do one of the like little slide follow up or the backdash projectile. And once that happens, as far as what I've labbed, that adds so much to the gravity where you can only really get you can't get as big of a combo as if you would hit with a close slash, because at least with close slash you can do close slash 2S into an H button to then do that gravity addition.
Yeah, I just think that there's the routing off of certain buttons isn't as bad, which is an interesting approach, I guess. Because I got countered quite a bit until I figured how what her like what I was doing off the H buttons and far slash. Her H buttons and her far slash are really good into geo pressure because they're big and have a lot of disjoint to them, which of course they do. Wouldn't be a Keyscape member if they didn't have insane disjoint.
So true.
So
I still
true.
haven't seen the anime.
I need to watch it. I've heard it's really good, but for like as a Guilty Gear game, I've heard it's really good. Or not game, but a
Yeah,
Guilty Gear show.
I've
Like
heard
they're
really
gonna.
mixed things, but then Anakin said that it jumps the shark in the most guilty gear way possible, and I was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
I think from what Anakin said, it's as an anime, it's like passable, like fine. But as a Guilty Gear anime, it's really good. Like it's a good adaptation, and Guilty Gear doesn't and really have a great. Its story is insane, and not in like the a really great way. Just like shit just happens
I
kind of
get
way.
shot in the back of the head and then just gets up.
Yeah,
Like it's this whole emotional scene about him dying, and then he just stands up at the end.
that's so funny. I don't know. It's just like So I do need to watch that. It's I have such a backlog of shows I need to watch though, so it's not very high up there. I've got a lot of shows I need to catch up on.
I'll get to it one night.
It's only 8 episodes, so I could actually finish it in like a sitting.
Huh.
But I have other stuff I need to watch. I'm pretty sure I added like 12 anime to my backlog in like the last like 3 days, and I'm like I'll watch that eventually, and then I won't. I'll rewatch Kuroko's Basketball or something. Oh,
Watch the
actually,
taste of guilty get out your mouth.
is this a? I went to Crunchyroll.com. Is this a game or is it a show? It says play now. I'm assuming this is a game or something. I just want to see what it is. Yeah, it's a game. Okay, I'm not crazy. I was like, this doesn't look like a show. There actually is a show I need to add to my watch list while we're here. Where is it? It's called To Be Hero X. I've heard really good stuff about it. So just another
Sounds
show.
familiar.
I don't even know if it's on Crunchyroll. Yep, there it is. All right, let me just see what my watch list looks like. Not having of shows I haven't started, just on the first page.
I've never really been huge into anime. I've only like kind of recently started to
It's over 20. Just I watched you.
in shows.
I I just add stuff and I'm like I'll watch that eventually.
Yeah, I have no organization. I have like a private Discord server
Where
for
you
like
just have it
sending things
listed.
in a. Yeah, I'll just type it out in like the general chat of that one. And I'll just say like the name of the anime or the movie or show that I want to watch, and it's there in case I don't remember it. Problem is that it gets drowned out, and then if I don't remember it, I can't search up the name.
Yeah.
And
I did
also
that for a
it's
while, and then
small.
I realized I had like the same anime listed in 3 different places over a course of a year or something. Of like, I should go watch this. So now it's just on my Crunchyroll playlist. I'll get to it eventually, I swear. I mean, part of it is I spend a lot of time on Twitch, and so like active content is a lot different than like watching a show.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I can't do Twitch most of the time, and I couldn't do it for the longest time. Only John is like maybe the like first or second streamer that I'm able to like sit down and watch, and I think that's because it's a smaller community.
Well, then you must really like my stream because there's like 4 people in there, and you know all of them.
Yeah, it's always uh right. I know Rifle, Bingus. Yeah, I can't remember anymore.
Yeah. And if you guys like this podcast, you guys should totally go to my Twitch stream. I will be live when this is the night this is up at twitch.tv. NickMyDude.
Doing towers, surely.
Don't push your luck.
Doing towers, surely.
If John moves the tournament this weekend, I definitely won't be, which it seems like he's going to.
John, postpone the tournament and your life is forfeit.
Yeah, pretty much. No, that's been really frustrating. All the tournament like being changed and stuff. Granted, he's a busy
Yeah,
man, but
because we had 2 weeks of
nothing.
no, it was 3 weeks. It was 3 weeks of the tournament, and then it was delayed by 2 weeks. And we had last week's delayed because the Street Fighter tournament had 17 players in it.
The Grand Blue one's gonna have like 12, so I don't know.
Yeah, but during the Street Fighter one, John said that he's got to figure out a better method of doing it, but who knows if he will.
The real method is he just starts earlier.
True. I don't know if
True.
he's.
Or runs it on Friday.
I don't know if like he's not getting off from work since he also works nights, but if he's like just waking up after getting the little sleep he does.
Yeah. I mean, really, he should. The issue is he can't run it at the same time because everybody who plays in those tournaments also plays in Strongest. Like if
Yeah,
like if Street Fighter and Strongest had gone at the same time, Street Fighter would be like 3 people, I think.
yeah. If I had more interest in Street Fighter, I would have signed up, but I didn't want to spend $70 for the game and then not have much of an
And only
interest
play
in
it
how it
once or
plays.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I'm interested in one of the characters, Manon. I think that's how they pronounce her name. Just because they looked funny, and I don't know,
I like to say Manon because it's just
man
like
in
canon.
man in the cannon. I mean, she does slam people into the ground and does like a third of their health at some point. So
Yeah, isn't
it's
isn't like
not
her
incorrect.
fighting her fighting style's like based on ballet? She's the ballet one.
Ballet and judo, I think, is what people were saying. You could tell we
Yeah, I
really pay
like
attention to Street Fighter.
I like Ed just because I just thought out of everyone in the roster he looked the coolest to me. And then I learned that he's like his fighting style is boxing. I think that's so funny based on like what everyone else is doing is like full body martial arts. He's just using hands.
Yeah, I think a few people were gonna play Ed. Actually, I know Rifle did. I think
Yeah, if
Swerks
I
thought about it, and I think somebody
I
else
picked
was
him up,
doing it.
if I picked him up, I would have been the fourth Ed.
I don't know. Maybe you're secretly also the fourth Bacon.
Did play biking before Sin.
That's
I
crazy.
don't think I can ever go back to biking. realistically, until Unica, I didn't really think I could ever switch off Sin. I dabbled with Ram for a bit, but she never got the. She never had the same factor. But Unica is so fun and unique that she might be my secondary.
Wow. Everybody in the server is gonna have a secondary Unica.
I know, and I feel so like unoriginal for it or whatever. It's like no one plays Sin. I got that secured as my spot.
That's not true. Legit plays Sin.
Well, I mean, anyone can
What's
learn
the
Sin.
what's their
That's not
name?
that
Play Sin.
hard.
Okay. This is like anybody can play Giovanna. Like thanks God.
Listen, I'll be honest. Sin's not too hard,
I mean Giovanna's
especially
not that hard either.
with like the combos that I made that I just sent a combo list for all of his B&Bs. After that, it's just kind of like playing him enough to know how to play neutral, and that's it.
Yeah. Speaking of that stuff, I actually figured out an Unica combo because I bought her and I was like messing around on accident. I was like, cool, this works, this works. What if I do this? And then he was like, oh, cool, wall bounces. Oh, cool, I can pick that up. It
Uh,
was not hard. Like the execution of that was was easier than like a lot of the Giovanna combos that I do. And I was like, that's so
the
neat.
is it
I
like
love that.
is it enhanced DP?
I know you do the DP somewhere in there, and it wall bounces, and you can like catch off the 6H or 5H. I mean, and then it'll like wall splat. I'd have to double check. I only practiced for about 30 minutes, so the fact that I was getting that far in 30 minutes is kind of funny.
Yeah, it's about how long it took for me to get the first combo that I had made for Unica, which was just a simple round start distance wall break.
Yeah, there was a combo I was trying to do, and I couldn't get the 4K to come out consistently. I was having trouble with that, but then I like my lunch was over for work, so I stopped. And then in the afternoon, I played against Anakim, who was playing Unica. And that's when I was like, wow,
I
Unica's hitboxes have got to be something insane. And they are.
Oh, is that when I sent a handful of the hitboxes?
Yeah. And I was, because before I was like, they've got to be crazy because I think it was their far slash. I can't remember if it was far slash because it was sideways. It was far slash clash with my 6B.
Yeah, I
And I was like,
was
that's so
practicing
sick.
there
I
before
love
bed.
that. That's awesome. In case anybody's wondering, I didn't actually think that was awesome. I thought that was really annoying because Giovanna's far slash loses to every mid under the sun. You should have to throw it at the
Maybe the
right
real
time.
mid was the far slash.
Probably.
That move mid as hell.
Uh, Speaking of Giovanna, did you see who was it? Was it Bren that posted it? Somebody said they did a poll of like all the top Geo players and all of the matchups said even, except for the Leo one, which said losing.
I think that's genuinely wild that they think like a lot of the matches against top tiers are even.
I would love to see the actual breakdown of like,
Yeah, like the individual of five
yeah, I don't
five
know, because
players.
is it 5 players? Is it, you know, 8 players? Is it 2 players? And like they both, one thinks all of them are winning, all of them are losing, you know?
There's no way.
Yeah. Because I know Nitro's talked about like the pot matchup specifically, and like really thinks he probably thinks that it's more even than I do because he's good at the video game, and I am not that good at the video game. But even they were complaining about it, like how hard it is and how much he gets off of like one hit versus 8 geo hits.
Yeah, I think Pot got a like has bad PR for this patch.
I think it's deserved, but
It is deserved to a certain point, but like I mean, Pot has the issue where like people can get away with doing like the bare minimum of like pressing 3 buttons and having a half health combo, like not even really doing directions other than 6H. But it's a bad reputation for doing that much damage and then having people just assume, oh, he's an insanely easy character because that skill floor is so low. I said it. I said something like that in the fighting game general.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's fair to say any character in Guilty Gear is like straight up just easy. And I know like you did the the or legit or whoever did, you did the video on it, so I call it yours. But the random tournament or whatever
Yeah.
back when Slayer first came out and back before he got nerfed, or was that after he got nerfed? That was after he got nerfed, right?
I believe that was before because we
Yeah, because
did that
Dizzy wasn't
tournament
out.
before my
Yeah, because
first
Dizzy
video.
wasn't out.
Yeah, it was a few days before Dizzy.
Yeah, it was like the last thing that people did before the season 4 patch. So Slayer's like at his proverbial peak of like bullshit because he used to be insane. Like it was insane. Um, and like other than that version of Slayer, every character I've seen, you can't just like hop on and push buttons other than like Potemkin. Granted, it's a little
Yeah,
unfair to like pick that like an all random tournament with the people who are playing because like you may not main, I don't know, whoever pick a character, but you know that you've played a lot of Guilty Gear, so you kind of have at least an understanding how the game works. And I didn't realize how high up, relatively speaking, our whole group was in terms of player skill until relatively recently either. So it makes sense that
oh
we
my
could pick up
god.
Guilty Gear characters and do like okay. And the only reason why I say this, I don't think I'm very good, but we was it Ashen went into was it how you pronounce it? Zizix? What's his fucking name?
Yeah,
Insert big fighting game player dude here. Gary, it's
yeah.
Gary, right? He's live right now. It's Gary. It's Zizix. Um,
Yes, but
and
so he's
Ashen went
doing
in there and ran the shit out of that lobby. Like
yeah.
legitimately broke it.
Ashen's like I think Ashen and I can go head to head and like it comes out as a mostly 50-50 if I'm on my A game. But Ashen is so much more consistent than I am. And I think Ashen is just a better player than me.
Ashen is
Ashen
really
is
good.
insane.
It's funny. Other than like, I feel like I don't know. I don't know when Ashen is on, but I have a much better time fighting Ashen than I do Bren, and they play the same character. I don't know. I don't know what the difference is. I could not tell you. And obviously,
Ashen is
again, like you
more.
win a lot more than I do
I
when we
think
fight.
Ashen's
So
just a lot more aggressive when it comes to like his neutral. Bren is more willing to sit back and try to let you make a mistake. But I don't think sitting back in the neutral is Biken's forte. So Ashen's able to do a lot more and get away with it. Plus, Ashen's a lot cleaner with like Yosanson like landing and then still punishing you, especially if you mash. I've gotten parried off of a whiffed Yosanson or a blocked Yosanson so many times that I don't even consider it a an opportunity anymore.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just because Ashen is so aggressive that I have an easier time because his parry is a really good tool against you because it literally beats most, if not all, her moves in a very, very rough way. Because Geo's all short range strikes. I'm pretty sure max range 2D and max range 5H and far slash are the only things that I don't get auto throw, like full damage parry off of. But that means I have to play like a very specific way to not get parried. And it kind of takes away a lot of the Oki pressure that I can use. And Geo's Oki isn't the greatest. It's pretty telegraphed.
Taking away Sin's Oki is like half the character. Ashen's so
It's
good at that
literally
too.
the entire character. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Sin's optimal game is waiting just a little bit, getting a combo to get a hard
Getting any
knockdown
sort of
into a
knockdown,
wall,
yeah, and just killing you.
and then on your hard knockdown on the wake up through the wall, I run up to you, have at least one stamina, and make you guess. You guess wrong, you lose another half of your health,
Or more.
killing most of the cast.
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah, but like I was saying, I did not know just how insane the people we play with on a consistent basis were. Because my scope of like skill is just the grid, right? Like I watch like tournaments and stuff, but you don't really see like you can know that they're like really, really, really good. But if you haven't played them, I don't know. Like I could tell like an NFL player is way faster than me, right? But like
But it's hard to gauge like the actual skill because they're
the
when you're
fighting game
watching
is
an NFL
different.
player, yeah, you're comparing it to people who are at that same skill level, not regular people.
Yeah. Because like anybody can at some point be like insane at a fighting game. Not
Yeah, like
everyone can be an
watching,
NFL player.
yeah, like watching Evo or a combo breaker, looking at it's like, hey, I've done all those things that the Sins have done. I've played against people who play like this, where it's like all this seems like just a regular match. There's nothing special going on. These are professional players, and then when you actually go up to fight them, you realize, oh god, there's a huge difference fighting them than just watching.
Mm-hmm. I wish I had more. I should actually do an episode of this where I go through and figure out everybody's. I don't know. It'd be easier if the ranking system was out and not tower. Because I mean, the majority of
Just
people who
puddle farm.
regular play are just yeah. I mean, I was gonna say I could just go to Puddle Farm and look up everybody's stuff. The funniest part is gonna be when I look at my shit because it's super skewed because I don't play tower very often.
Let's see, what's my ranking?
I
Not too
played
high.
I played like 3 matches on Monday, and that was like the first time I'd played since October. I don't play tower, which is something I should do more because I think the quickest way for me to catch up and play better against y'all, besides playing you more, like a lot more, is playing a lot more. Which means I should be playing tower because that's the easiest way to find a lot of matches. I can just
Yeah,
fight people.
puddle puddle farm. Ashen is 100 points above me.
I wonder where Ashen is in all of Bikins.
153.
That's crazy. How many Bikins are 154
Yeah, he's actually one of the worst Vikings of all time. Just
of
happens
all
that
time?
Vikings are carried.
Yeah, Biken is actually the most carried character in Guilty Gear. Have you seen Cross Up Yozansa?
Cross up Johnson does carry Viking.
It actually
Not
it's
not
so
a.
funny that like if there was one move you killed out of her kit, it was Cross Up Yuzansen. She would go back to being a bottom character like overnight.
I don't even know how they could touch Johnson. I wasn't saying that Viking was like carried by Johnson specifically to make her a godly character. I was saying that Johnson does something to her air properties where she just flies.
Yeah, I mean, if they took the vacuum off, she's probably or made it weaker. Uh, she'd probably still be really good and fine. She's got
I'm
really
not
good
against.
Oki. She's got really good Oki pressure. Her air moves are crazy.
I'm not against the vacuum. I'm against like blocking Johnson and then like not being able to do anything after. Like if you mash, you lose to a parry. If you do anything, you lose to parry. Depending on when the
The
Johnson hits you, but
the platypus.
parry the platypus.
That's one of my favorite memes.
But like with Bren, I know like a handful of times I've punished him after a Johnson. I don't know if he's pressing parry after or not, but I cannot get away with that with Ashen. So like your only
I
real option is to grab after a blocked Johnson, but then if they do anything, you lose. If they do anything but parry, you lose the grab.
yeah. I know Brent really wants Johnson to be disjoint. It absolutely should never be disjoint in this game. Unless they change a bunch of how the game works. Uh that
I
move has traded with my Dragon Punch. That is an anti-air disjoint. And I got it traded because of the way it works.
I think that it shouldn't. What's the word I'm thinking of? I think it should have like a multi-hit for its hitbox, where it's not just a full circle around Baiken is her hitbox. Because the amount of times I've 6P'd the wrong direction because Yozanson threw her behind me and still gotten the hit because I hit the other half of the move is absurd. It shouldn't work like that.
I don't think they can fix that without making the move either insanely hard to beat, because it's already hard to beat, but like not like hard, but if you guess wrong, you die. So I mean that's like most of the cast, right? But I don't know. I think I think the biggest issue is that 6P being like this universal anti-air, uh, and being inconsistent across characters is probably the most frustrating thing. I think I just need to wait in 6P slightly later, maybe. It's all 6P stuff, and
I'll
it just like won't happen. It just
I'll be
won't hit them.
feeling that pain. I'll be feeling it
Oh yeah,
soon.
just fucking 5H them. You'll be fine.
I started to do that. I was fighting Twin as Unica, and I was like, I'll just 5H counter hit as an anti-air and then go into the dash and just try to
Yeah,
push them to the wall.
that shit's crazy. Unica's hitboxes are blessed. At least for some of their the more commonly used moves, they're pretty blessed. Can't
Best
believe
look like now.
I can't believe I close clash with a far slash using 6P. I was so mad. I was like, my character can't even get guard crush on a telegraphed pressure tool. What do you mean you get a disjointed far slash that reaches uh round start distance? I was a little mad. That shield for a while, came back and it was fine. I think the matchup between Unica and Geo is gonna be less volatile than the one against Slayer. Or not Slayer, Sin, but we'll see. Oh good, the hitboxes are here. Look at this stupid far slash. I hate this. At least their close slashes got a huge hitbox. 5Ks are huge hitbox.
Yeah, the far slash is a
5H is
bigger.
so fucking gross, dude.
Yeah, far slash is a bigger disjoint than it has an actual hitbox connected or hurt box connected to the hitbox.
Oh,
Which
the specials and stuff don't have it yet.
I think they just do like if the far slash like becomes like an apparent problem, I think they just need to like give her a little bit more of a lower hurt box. That way it can be punished with lows. But then again,
I
it's very easy to low profile at. You don't
You
even have
speak
to
for
have a
yourself.
low profile
I
move.
did Go2D and it hit me. So I swear Go2D is not actually low profile, even though it's supposed to be.
Could be that Unica's just short, but we
Could
don't have
be.
a sense of scale in the Dust Loop hitboxes.
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
But in
I mean,
20
Unica's cool.
recovery, all of her moves are
Oh, that's so fake.
insanely slow.
Yeah, but like all the that stuff is so fake because of the follow ups.
That is fair. Uh, that's my biggest problem with Slayer when I was doing the most research on like trying to counter him is that like I remember talking about it, everyone's like he's minus on a lot of his moves. Yeah, Mappa instant +1.
Yeah. If you like that though, you know, it's just Guilty Gear. That's why I get so frustrated with the Giovanna. Not like the character, but like when people are talking about how bad their characters are, they're like, "Oh, I'm minus on all this shit," and I was like, "Yeah, but like, have you seen what Giovanna's plus on? It's the telegraph pressure tool, which you can actually just 2P. You can 6P for a crumple if you really want to. Uh, and then everything else is minus except for my close slash.
You did just remind me that like you are punishing Sin on all his talking's hard on all of his minus specials when I'm out of stamina, which I hadn't really like fully realized until you had mentioned it. Because anytime like I do it and I get jabbed out of it or I get hit by it, my mind's like, yeah, that move is minus. That makes sense. And I never considered where it's like, oh, he's doing that intentionally.
Yeah. I mean, I also like I don't memorize exact frame data. I just know roughly what's safe to press on because I know when you're out of stamina, you're not doing a guard crush follow up and killing me. All I have to really watch out for is an RC or like for some reason if you decide to DP. But
The amount of times I've started to like accidentally DP,
mm,
but I don't want to is it's getting frustrating.
yeah. So like I couldn't tell you how minus anything you do without a special follow up is, other than I know I can get a 2P out, and that's all I need to know.
Hoof Stomp is -8 on hit.
On hit, I always just
On
hold flag. I should just
hit.
start mashing that. I should just let that shit hit me. Then what am I doing? When you don't have stamina, I'll just let it hit me and then I'll kill you.
It's -11 with on block. I believe -11. I have to check the dust loop, but
I'm gonna forget this anyway, and I'm just gonna wait till you don't have stamina and 2P out again. I don't know.
Sin's like special
I still think that Sin pressure is more. I'd rather deal with Sin corner pressure than deal with anything with Slayer. But that's just because Slayer's stupid and gets a free side swap.
Slayer 5-way. Take a guess.
Take a guess, and if you're wrong, it's you're going through the wall. I mean, Sin, if you're wrong, you're going through the wall. But I don't know. You can mash
I
out
mean,
of it
I feel like
more
Sin's
safely.
more on the nose about what he's going to do. He's not going to be
Yeah,
side swapping you.
yeah. Also, because I swear I'll swap the block and I'll still get hit. So I don't actually. I don't know. I just need to practice it. Have like a bot just continuously do side swap Mappa and try to block it.
I'm so smart. Hoof is -11 on block. I'm the greatest.
That's cool. I'm pretty sure Geo Sepultura is -10 or something like that. Everything I do is basically minus. The only reason why it's hard to get out of is because if I do 2P or like 5P, it's only like -2 and it's fast. So like actually mashing out of it, it's hard. That's why I try to do that. I try to get close using like my P buttons, and because you guys don't fall for my frame traps, mainly because there's not a shit ton of them and it's pretty telegraphed. Oh, I got hit by a 5K. Let me just make sure to not hit anything real quick.
I'm
I
slowly
blocked 5K.
rediscovering.
Let me not push a button.
I'm slowly rediscovering Sin frame traps.
Yeah, I mean most of geos are tied to like 5K, and then building your own. Geo's a very build your own adventure in terms of pressure, which is makes it hard. But like once she opens you up, she does a fuck ton of damage. So I get it. What was it the other day we were playing? I don't want to say it wasn't a close slash or 5H counter hit, but I hit you with something and it was like 60, and it wasn't even like a good starter, and I almost killed you off of it. I can't remember what button it was though.
I think I remember the combo because I remember just like sitting there thinking like, damn, you got hands.
Yeah. I don't know. Geo is so fun to play. However, is super frustrating the way the systems are and the way other characters are around her. There's like so much the characters get away with that I just like there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, it feels like Geo might be like one of the most honestly designed characters in a game that's made with people who have very dishonest moves.
Geo
Where
is honest in that you know what her tools do just by watching her try to kill you. Uh, but what she's dishonest about is the second she hits you and can convert anything, you're dying, like very quickly. And it's like the entire cast. She can 60% at basically anyone off of a good hit, like a straight, like not even like a good hit, like a straight 5K. Is like I can push you through the wall and it's like 60%. I just need to work on the conversion. And don't get me started on counter hit 5H. Because I mean, everybody's close slash is just kind of choose your own adventure in terms of how much damage you want to do. But Geo 5H is just, it's such a good button. I just wish it didn't lose to as much like Sin 5, like Sin 2D, like max
I'm
range.
looking at
I just lose to to a lot of people's 2Ds, and it's very frustrating.
I'm looking at the comparing 5Hs for Geo and Unica. It's insane because they have the same startup, the same active,
Yes, yeah. I was
but
looking at this last night, and I was getting mad about it.
Unica's 5H is a 30 frame recovery.
Yeah, but she also goes into, it's also 2 hits. I'm pretty sure.
5H is not 2Hs.
Okay, so her 5H is 1 hit, but she also she gets like really good follow. Her follow ups are really good off of it. Also, you could theoretically use this as an anti-air.
Yeah. It's a lot bigger of a read versus 6P. You can do reaction, but then again, 6P is only a frame slower, but you don't have the protected hitbox.
Yeah,
But then
trust
again,
me. I looked at it and I was like, "This is." Oh, her guts rating is 2, damage mod 1.
yeah, she's like identical to Ram.
She's a little tougher than Giovanna, which makes sense. God, if she was tough like Sin, then that would be fucking
Oh,
awful.
it would
It would
be
be
over.
awful.
Like,
I
yeah,
was like,
even
thank God they didn't decide to give her 5 guts like they did Dizzy.
yeah, even Sin should not have this much health. I remember a while back in one of the tournaments, Anakim said that Sin was actually pretty squishy because he had like a 1.05 damage modifier and 2 guts.
And
Now
now
he
he's not.
has 4 guts and a 0.97.
Yeah, better. The defense rating base better than Geo's, but Geo is a 1 guts.
3 guts. I guess wrong.
Yeah, I can't believe Geo's a 1 gut. That makes me so mad. I was like, dude, really? The
She
most.
is?
Yeah, Geo has a 0.98 damage mod and 1 guts. However, her defense rating goes up to Potemkin's at full tension. So
Did
she
her
becomes
guts
a.
go up?
No, her guts is always 1.
Her guts should be higher. Give her a 2.
Just make her a little slightly tougher. Because like that's like the big thing right now is the damage mod is nice, but it's so, I don't want to say useless because it does come up like a lot. But I need to RC. I need to be using my super. I need to be using. I need to be FDing. Like I honestly hold on to my tension like way longer than I should because Geo builds a lot of tension. She has a lot of really good buttons to build tension. Uh, but I have to. But I should be like RCing and stuff more. As much as I think RCs are so silly, sometimes.
Yeah, I think you and I are like the opposite spectrums of RCs. I love them. I think I love them for the reasons you hate them.
I think my big thing about RCs is that if somebody's like pressuring you and you're having the faultless defense, like against a Jacko or against a San or whatever, or Anji is like a really big one because all his shit is specials. So you have to FD or he's gonna chip you out really fast. And really fast. Put that in quote like air quotes, like really fast. It's not that fast, but it's enough that it is a problem. Um, and then I'll like you can like hard read and throw like the move that should beat them. They'll just like PRC and then kill you.
Yeah,
And it's not,
I
and
haven't
that's like
fought enough
extremes,
Anjis.
right? You know, like that's the extremes, and there's nothing you can do about that. The game rewards offense so heavily that like when I make a really smart defensive read and then I just lose, because I was having to FD something and they PRC it and I die because I can't RC. I don't know. It doesn't feel good. Even if RCs do have some really cool shit you can do with them, but it's not. I don't dislike them so much that I can't enjoy the game, or like I don't think that it's still fun and skillful to like watch people do RC stuff. We had a match on bracket where it was like I PRC'd something, you RC'd something, I RC'd again just so I could 2K you or something because we were trying to beat the other person's option. It was like it was 150-meter or more spent in like legitimately 2 seconds of gameplay.
I faintly remember that. I
It
wonder
was
if I have it clipped.
I could find it. It wouldn't be that hard to find. It was in one of the most recent brackets, so I just have to look for the one we fought in, which is like the one before last.
Past all the Unica clips that I have, past all the Grand Blue ones.
Yeah. So I don't hate RCs. I just think that they reward an offensive game plan that is already like really good. And because my character's gimmick is literally tied to having a lot of meter, so RCing something means I'm now slower, which is still fast compared to like other characters. But full tension geopressure is a way more aggressive than like zero tension geopressure or like even half tension. Because the grab range basically turns my grab into a command grab because it's so because I'm so much faster. And like geo grab range is already kind of like the effective grab range where you basically have to react with grab or you get grabbed is pretty small. Or I mean like decent, like it's not small. I know I complain about Geo grab hitbox being small, and it is. Should not, and they better not make that bigger because it would not be fun for anyone.
Grabs, grabs are so like hit or miss because like they're a two frame thing, and that like Sin for example, I have to wait just a little bit whenever I hit you with a special and then Gazelle step for a grab. If I just hit you with the special and then Gazelle step, that's long enough. But if I hit you with the follow up Gazelle step, I have to just kind of stand in front of you for like a second or two, and then I can grab you.
Yeah. Geo grab is good because I can just like close slash grab people a lot. I've been doing it a lot more, because their close slash is really close range, and like obviously like blocked enhanced travail. It literally is a guessing game. You have to either tech the grab or eat a block string because I'm +6 in your face. What I really should do is like geo travail close slash grab or something. I don't know. But we spent the whole time talking about Guilty Gear. Let's talk about Grand Blue. How are you liking Grand Blue? It's Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising for anybody watching. I know there's like cross
Um,
tag.
yeah, it would be my second fighting game ever, like actually playing.
Same.
It's it's very difficult to like understand what moves are what, especially because the game like all like the frame data and everything is faster. And it could just be because I'm playing a fast character. I play Seox, who I learned based on Anakim's reaction that he's a very prominent character.
I don't know.
It could just
Grand Blue. I don't. I'm not in it for the lore. I just picked up Sandalphon because they looked cool.
well, not like lore wise, but like power wise. Like Seox was absurdly broken
Yeah.
on his release.
I am trying
But
to. I want to learn Grand Blue, but like actually learn Grand Blue so I can play it when we're not playing Strive, especially because the season's ending soon. Uh, but I don't have. I'm in this weird spot where I want to learn it, but I don't have the drive to learn it because the Guilty Gear season isn't over, and I want to play better in the Guilty Gear brackets. And it takes like a lot of my focus to do that.
yeah, I mean, Uh, the the way tournaments like just kind of are, kind of like frustrates me because I mean I can work my way to like top 8 or like top 4 without too much of a problem. But it frustrates me where it's like, okay, the first 2 matches I'm against people who I absolutely should not really be fighting, or like newer players or like players who don't like practice as much. And I feel bad just because where it's like I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be fighting them. They should be fighting each other.
It's tough because like if you do seeded, like if you do a seeded tournament, you're always gonna fight. I mean, depending on your placing in the tournament, but roughly, given your average placing, you would most likely be fighting those people anyway if it was seeded, right? And you could do like, I mean, there's stuff John could do, like X number of people get a buy and like make his own bracket, but that takes a lot of work.
Yeah, that's a lot of time investment, and that's a lot of like assuming
That's a
people's
lot of
skill.
asking. Yeah, that's a lot of ask at a John, and then there's nobody. If somebody doesn't show up, it fucks up the bracket harder than it does when they normally don't show up. And given our track record of people not showing up, you don't want to do that much.
Yeah, there's usually always at least 2 people every tournament. Although
And
like
it's never
most of
my
the time,
opponents.
yeah, most of the time it's one person who just, no call no shows, and
Yeah,
then one person who says, "Hey, I actually got this thing. I can't do it."
yeah. I unfortunately, like I said, I'll probably be missing at least one. I'm missing at least one of the last 2 tournaments for sure. I might be missing both, and I'm gonna be really, really upset, like frustrated, because I've been working really hard this like past like couple days on trying to like figure stuff out, and I felt really good fighting last night. I don't know, RCing stuff, picking up a lot of things that I've been dropping lately. So I would be really frustrated to miss both of the last 2 tournaments because of Elden Ring, or yeah, is it Night Rain coming out, and then whatever else is going on.
Play Night Rain eventually.
Yeah.
Elden Ring didn't never really like captured me like it did everyone else. Like I love Dark Souls. Dark Souls 3 is like one of my favorite games of all time, like top 3, if not the number 1. But Elden Ring just didn't do it for me. I love the atmosphere though. The atmosphere of Elden Ring is like everything I would ever do in worlds of my own.
I want to play Elden Ring. And I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast, but I've definitely talked about it, I think, with you, or at least you were
Uh,
there.
did
My
talk about it
PC,
on the
it,
podcast.
it'll just randomly drop to 1 frame, and it's unplayable. I probably could play it on my Xbox, but I don't want to. I want to play on my computer.
Yeah,
I want to stream
I
it.
could not tell you why.
I couldn't. No one can tell me why. Legitimately, no one. I've
Yeah,
looked.
because I've never had that happen. I mean, I've had it drop to like 15 frames or something like that when you're fighting a boss and it's trying to load in the next area. Like Dancer in Dark Souls 3 does that really badly, where once the second phase activates, it starts loading in the second area, and then of course that kind of ruins your ability during that fight.
Mhm. So I don't know, and I really don't like. I will look over a lot of stuff for a game, like a lot. Um, but the second it starts having like that kind of an issue where like my FPS drops for no reason and it's like so severe, I just stop playing. I just won't play it anymore. Which really sucks because I do want to like play Elden Ring, and I'm really worried Night Rain is gonna have the same problem.
I wonder if there's like a performance mod that might help.
I should probably look, but like I googled it and like have been looking up, going to Reddit, going to Steam, going to everywhere I could find where people are talking about it to see if I can figure out why. Like I've reinstalled it, I've verified the files, I've reinstalled it again, and it just happens. So I don't know, because I just know like it's gonna happen in like a rough boss battle that I'm close to finishing. I'm gonna die, and I just don't want that. I just don't need that in my life. I do not need that kind of frustration in my life. I play enough frustrating. I deal with
Become,
enough frustrating things in my life.
Becoming home after a long, hard day of work to play a game that makes me unfathomably angry.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll probably buy Night Rain next week or something, and then play it. And if it drops for frames, I'm just gonna have to refund it immediately. I don't know how to fix it, and I'm not about to lose what is it, $40, because I want
I
to
think
keep
so.
trying. Because I want to keep trying to fix it. So it sucks, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah,
Maybe I'll just play it on my
but
console. Who knows? I have a nice Xbox for a reason.
back to Grand Blue.
Back to Grand Blue.
Yeah, I think Guilty Gear has a really good system for its buttons, where like punches are punches, kicks are kicks, and slashes, heavy slashes can be identified. At least like with like a bit of practice, they can be identified. With Grand Blue, at least as like a new player, it's really hard to look at something and be like, that's a light, that's a medium, that's a heavy. And it could be exacerbated because Seox has like his weapons of the claws. So they kind of all look the same because there's not really many animations you could do other than swiping.
Yeah, I mean, not to catch you up, but I just think that it's hard to tell in general because I've looked at like the Sanophon ones, and you could tell me that they were different moves, or you could tell me they were exactly the same button, and I would believe you.
Yeah, especially like in the moment, I can't tell if I'm doing a far move where you can't go into the 3 hit combo, which is anytime I'm using the 3 hit combo like in a block string, I'm doing it because I'm trying to buy time to figure out what the hell is going on.
Oh well, I hit you with my Super Skybound art. Get owned, nerd.
I'm so bad with that input. I thought it was a like a triangle or a Y input for the longest time. It's A or X.
Yeah, I think Sanophon you can do like 3 buttons and put it in, but I found that harder than doing double quarter circle button.
I try not to use the special like the easy input just because it does less damage. My brain's just like, no, that's not optimal. Do it the right way.
I was really remembering how to do some of the stuff that I had spent some time practicing. I've got like 4 hours in that game, so and most of it isn't on Sanophon.
I've got 10, like
Yeah,
6 of them are in the lab.
yeah, I do not have that. So I just need to. I mean, like I said, it's really cool. I like the way it is, and I want to learn it. Because there's a lot of cool stuff you can do. I just don't have the drive right now, and I'm gonna not have the drive extra. Excuse me, extra bad if we cancel or if I miss the last 2 strive tournaments. I'm gonna be more upset about it. Maybe I'll just have to learn Blaze Blue instead.
Or Grand Blue instead of Blaze Blue, or
Yeah, no, learn Blaze Blue instead of Grand Blue. I don't know. We'll see. I really do want to because I bought Sanophon and I want to learn how to play the game. Uh, I don't know. Maybe I feel like people are gonna keep playing. The big reason why I want to learn Grand Blue is because people I think are more excited to play Grand Blue after the Strive season is over for sure than to keep playing Strive because a lot of people are really kind of done with Strive. Not in
yeah,
like
burnout from the lack of update really hurt
yeah
it.
the burnout from the way that the patches and no this is no offense to John, but the tournaments have been not great this season. Not by like turnout or like my matches or whatever, uh, but like delays and uncertain start times and all that stuff kind of kills it. Also, like I wouldn't be able to help much, but the commentary hasn't been that great this season either. At least in a lot of matches. there were a lot of my matches I was really frustrated because I wanted to get some feedback on what happened, and there was basically no commentary, or they were
Yeah,
talking
I'd
about
ask.
something else.
Yeah, I'd ask to be in the commentary a lot more often, but pretty much every single tournament this week I've had D&D at the exact same time. So I'm only ever like present in the tournament when it's at my matches, and then I immediately dip out again.
Yeah, which is fine, but like I don't know. I think that I had a really good match with you. Like the match we had was like really good, and the commentary, like we had the all the RC stuff happen, and the commentary wasn't any sort of excited. I was like, that was crazy to me in the moment. I was like, wow. And I don't know, to get it basically ignored, it's not ignored, but treated like run of the mill stuff, especially as someone who is known to not RC a lot, and me doing it twice in one interaction. I don't know. I'd be more hype about that. And maybe that's just a bit because uh, John doesn't seem to be having as much fun with Strive lately, and I don't know why, but there's that, and then like the overall sentiment has been great.
I mean, like, I think it really is just kind of like burnout because it was sort of like for me it was sort of foreshadowed when he said we should have like the 2v2s at the very beginning of the bracket was a fun thing for those first like few weeks because I think legit Ashton and Bren had been talking to him saying that we should do something like that. But then it kind of opened the door for, oh, let's play this other fighting game at the beginning instead of the 2v2s. And then it's sort of like spiraled from there. My first thought when a different fighting game was proposed was that it's like they want to do something else instead of the Strive bracket, which is
Yeah,
perfectly fine.
yeah, it's fine. I just, I mean, like, and part of it really is just kind of the burn. Like, the season hasn't been super well received, even if I think it's fine for the most part. Other people don't. And this is gonna sound really bad, and I don't mean for this to sound bad. But it's something I just kind of think. I think there's a group. I'm not gonna say a group of people, but like a overall sentiment that is in the grid where there's certain people who think they shouldn't lose to certain people, and then when they do, they get really mad.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit the other night. I feel like a similar way where it's like I shouldn't be losing to this person type of thing. But another thing that like kind of like keeps that mentality off is just kind of sitting there thinking like, yeah, but they're also like they're putting in a lot of work into the game too, and I shouldn't be frustrated that they're working hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bingus, for example, took 2 games off me in like the Scud Scuffle. Shouldn't have been able to do that. What the hell? What has Bingus been up to?
Yeah, and I obviously I would be lying if I said there weren't specific people I thought of when I said that. I'm not gonna name them. Um, but like I don't know, when I take games off of you, especially when like after we haven't practiced for a little bit, and we just kind of come in and I take a bunch of games. Uh, you don't sit there and get mad at me for taking games off of you.
Yeah, I'm not sitting there seething.
Yeah, and like I don't know, when people beat me, I get really frustrated. I will be honest. This past weekend, I should not have played in the Scud Scuffle. I'll be 100% honest. I don't want to say I was frustrated going in, but I was definitely salty about kind of like how the day had gone because like we had planned to go out, like me, my significant other,
Uh,
and
yeah, I
and
was
do a
I
bunch of
was like
stuff.
pretty frustrated about it too, and I had less plans than you did.
Yeah, and so like and it was like they wanted me to play because they knew I enjoyed playing in these or whatever. But I was so frustrated because then it got canceled, but it was too late for us to go. So I was pretty upset, like frustrated. And then I played
Yeah.
and I didn't wasn't playing well, so I just got more mad. Like I should not have played. So yeah, I did get mad, and it's not that I thought Swerks shouldn't have beat me. It was just the way I lost, and so I got super mad about Slayer. Um, but I mean, like, it's happened in the past where I've beat people, and they don't think that I should be beating them, and they get mad or they complain about something, and then change characters or do whatever, and I'm just like, okay, man, like,
Yeah, like you and Rifle, like you guys started in the middle of season one, like started fighting games fully,
yeah,
and like you guys ask questions and learn a lot in fighting game gen. I also like kind of like on like the similar topic. I think there's a lot of people, and I'm included in this a little bit, but I also like try to back up what I say. There's a lot of people who are kind of just like saying information, and not much of it's very true. There's a
hoof
better
stomp
way to
is
phrase that,
hoof
but I can't think of it.
or sin 6 case -4. You should press on it.
Well, not necessarily like blatant misinformation or like, but I
Stuff
guess
that's like
like
slightly wrong, like not intentionally wrong, but like slightly wrong, I guess is probably what you
I
might be
don't want to
going
say
after.
like I don't want to say that people think they're better than they are.
Oh,
But like,
ego is real, like in general.
oh
You know,
yeah, but I think that comes with like the territory of fighting games.
yeah,
Like,
you have to be a little egotistical to be
I'm
a decent fighting game player, I think.
I'm like half the time split between thinking I'm hot shit, I'm the best player there is, and then also sitting down being like I'm also just a beginner. I know so little about the game.
I go into every match thinking that I can win it because you need that, you know. It's like when we play, I even if like I haven't been playing well recently and you're playing really well, I'm always going in with the idea that I can beat you. Uh, is it going to be hard? Yeah, because I know you've played longer and are just better at the video game. But I also like need to be like confident in myself. I think the issue that people have run into is that they don't want to admit to themselves that somebody's better than them.
Yeah, yeah, like the thing that I'm referencing is they think they're better than they are, and they start like talking information, everything like that. And I fell into this trap midway through season two of Strongest when I started losing to John Slayer, where I was getting insanely frustrated at the game because of it, because it felt like nothing I did worked, and the I had like spent like 2 or 3 weeks like I spent an entire week in Celestial fighting pretty much just Slayers and learning the matchup, and then when bracket came for like 3 weeks in a row, I still lost to just John. When the previous week I had consistently beaten him on Johnny. But hindsight, Slayer was a better character, yes, but also John had learned how to use that character. And I may have learned how to fight Slayer, but I wasn't. There's a lot of things I should have done differently.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that
But
kind of brings me to the geo chart we were talking about briefly, where all the matchups are in even. Like when I tell people that, uh, you know, because I joke about it and I say it a lot. It's like geo top one. It's just me, right? I think
yeah,
you know, it's just you just gotta do your game plan. You just gotta do the thing, and I'm not doing the thing as best as possible, so I'm losing. It's not the character's fault, you know. So I
right,
try not.
yeah, like similar with Sin, where it's like Sin is arguably in the top five, and it's not that hard of an argument to make for him. But I'm still going to complain about like half the cast because everyone's got something. But that doesn't make anyone's complaints more or less valid.
That is correct. I I don't know. And also it's just like I know I say that Sin shouldn't, and you agree. Like Sin shouldn't have guard crush on all of his stuff. Not
Oh
it's not everything,
God,
but all his specials or follow ups or whatever have guard crush.
yeah, we
And
might have mentioned that in the original.
yeah, because we knew it was coming. I think maybe I don't know. Um, I think that I lost where I was going with that. Ultimately, I don't think any character in Guilty Gear is so good that it carries the player to the level of winning a Strongest Into the Heaven tournament if they don't have at least similar skill levels. Otherwise, Potemkin would win every week. And we've only had Potemkin win once, and Anti-Calf was playing like insane that week.
Yeah, that is true with because like otherwise, Ashton and I would be playing Potemkin because I think it's been Ashen legit and I has been like the top three for like I think just about every single
Strongest, except for when
tournament this season.
Cyro and
Right when Cyro and Django came.
yeah, and then Anti-Calf has gone up there. Rifle's gone up there,
All right,
and
maybe I
then
don't know as much as I'm talking about.
but Rifle got to top 3 once. Was it top 4? I know top 4 for sure because they got to winners finals, but I'm not sure if that guarantees top 3. I think that guarantees top 3.
Yeah,
Uh,
because if you're
yeah,
in winners
because
finals, it
you
sets
only
you
go
down to
loser final.
losers.
Yeah, so Rifle
Yeah,
got all the way up there. Anti-Calf won. Uh, Django got up. I don't know if Django got top 4, but I know they were at least top 5. And then Cyro has obviously won one.
I think Django.
Got really close, like top 4, top 3 maybe, because I think you played them to get to fight legit, or the other way
Yeah,
around.
the first week I fought Django was not that rough at all, and then the next week that Django came in was an entirely different story.
Mm-hmm. I think of I think Django and Cyro aside, because they're like insane. There's nobody in the bracket that I don't think I can beat. It's just doing it in bracket and like keeping it consistent. I'm getting there though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting there as well. Where I don't I know like Twin has said that they've been like on a really bad like decline in skill, but I've started to like consistently beat Twin.
I think I can beat Twin, but it's still hard. Like it's still like not a favorable matchup player skill wise. Character wise, I generally kind of throw that out the window unless it's like actually Potemkin, because Potemkin Geo matchup is really rough. Even if the top players say it has wound up to say it's even after a bunch of polls, I think it's rough. It's
I
probably one
I'm
of my worst
thinking like
matchups.
I think that's so ridiculous that Potemkin's even just because like that means somebody put him as like Geo wins easy
Yeah, or they
because
all put him in even.
somebody
Yeah,
because somebody definitely put him above even.
yeah. I think that that's probably Geo's worst matchup. When if all players are similarly skilled, probably the worst matchup. If I had to, if in my opinion, obviously I'm not a top player. There are other characters that are maybe worse, but like I don't know. I'm getting there. I just
Yeah,
really, I really hope the
good.
last 2 weeks are not. I don't miss the last 2 weeks because I want to place higher. I want to beat you guys in bracket because I know I can. It's just doing it.
Yeah, I've thought about taking in like Unica or Ram for like the early matches, but then again like it does feel really like I guess cheap to like lose a game and then immediately swap to your main.
Yeah, I mean, but like that's normal, right? Like
Yeah, like
maybe
it's
not like
within the rules. It
secondary
makes
into
sense.
your primary, but like people like Nitro took Leo, Geo, Jacko. That's so funny. Um, to combo breaker because they each had different matchups that Nitro liked and would rather use. So comes into like once you get good enough with a couple of characters, it's not really like picking a secondary. It's picking who you think has a better matchup into somebody.
Yeah, but there's a different environment for like bringing multiple characters for matchups for combo breaker versus the
Showing up to the
strongest, where it's
strongest.
like, yeah, showing up to strongest, being like, I think I'll like also like a little disrespectful, where it's like, I'll use my secondary on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess but it really depends on how much time you've put on that character. I guess. I don't know. Like if you showed up with your Ram, I wouldn't be like, "Oh, Scud's disrespecting me," or anything. I would think it was weird because I probably have a better chance of beating you on your Ram than on your Sin. But if you're just feeling confident in the Ram, you know what I mean?
I feel
That,
a,
that's
a
what I
little
look at it.
bad. I feel a little bad for Alpha and Omega at like the last week of season two, because like they played Dizzy the whole time, like for the first two matches, that lost them, and then swapped to Jacko.
Jacko and then ran the
And
tournament.
yeah, I feel a little bad because like at the end of it, it was just complaining
I
from everyone, and like even like legit got in there at the end. It was like playing Jacko, like a zoner is not a fun thing to do.
so full confession time. Y'all were like complaining about like that, and somebody showing up, and I was talking to Anakin in DMs, and I was like, I understand being frustrated that this person showed up to was like a should be considered close. Like at the time, like now I wouldn't consider a beginner bracket. At last season was somewhere in between, you know. Uh,
Right.
and was just kind of like, that's how tournament free to play enter tournaments work. Sometimes people just show up, you know, and like, does it suck to find out that the Dizzy that was still beating you wasn't even the main character they play? Yeah, but like that's like part of fighting games, you know. I I frustrated that somebody that good showed up and kicked the shit out of all of us. Yeah, but like I don't know. Maybe it's because I went to like several Halo tournaments and like in person and was like playing legitimately the best players in the world. And I just kind of I was just kind of over it. Like I was just like, yeah, I mean it happens. They weren't saying anything disrespectful. It just sucks.
Yeah, I know, like I felt bad about it, like even like after, because I'm like, yeah, they kind of showed up for a tournament, but like they showed up for fun just like everyone else. And I now feel like the other way around for like season three. Uh because in season one, when I joined, I thought like I was still a beginner because I had just barely broken to floor 10. I thought I was still a beginner at the game. I'd been playing for a few months. Yeah, a few months at that point. Oh no, no, I'd been playing for over a year, but I wasn't the best, and I joined the tournament because I thought I'd find people of similar skill, and then I kind of like ran it for a little while, or like I got second in my first two tournaments that I placed here, losing
Mm-hmm.
only to Legit, who is yeah roughly equal in skill to me, and then Twin, who was definitely at the time way beyond any of us.
Mm-hmm.
But now, like through season three, I feel like I feel bad because like newer players or people who are like don't put as much time into it as Bren, Ashen, Legit, and I should be able to participate in the tournament and not have to worry about fighting us. But at the same time, we like the tournament because it like puts all of like the four of us and everyone else at like their A game and their peak of what they want to do. And I think Legit and Ashen have said before that they don't really like try harder in tournaments. They always try to fight like as if they're in a tournament all the time whenever doing scrims. But I don't think that's entirely true, and it's definitely not intentional. Like I just can't get as focused as I can when I'm in a tournament match.
It's
And I think that shows.
yeah, I think it's I try to. I mean, obviously not all the time because I joke more. I make jokes, complain when especially we're not in tournament. I try really hard not to complain about stuff when I'm playing in a tournament because it defocuses me. But like, I can, I don't know. I always try to focus like I'm playing in a tournament because then I'm used to that focus. And I don't know. I try to practice like I play.
Yeah, like Anakim said in fighting game chat, like there's two types of players. People who like actually like know numbers and know a bunch of the things, and people who like play with their heart. I'm very like two sided about it. Where whenever we're doing scrims, I'm focusing on the numbers and I'm reacting to things. I'm trying to play like as like I guess like mathematically best as I can.
Mm-hmm.
But in tournament, it just kind of goes everything that I was doing beforehand is now sort of just like something to not really be thinking about because now it like it's I
You,
just like I lock in during tournaments and I play with my heart during tournaments, but having all like that information in the back of my mind, constantly thinking about it, but not actually putting focus on it.
I mean, that just falls into the what's it called? There's like I don't know if it's a phenomenon. But I think there's a name for it, but basically, like you just practice something enough. It's like what musicians do. They they can play their part on their drums or whatever, just like because they've practiced it so much. They don't have to, and all they need is like a small thing to remind them. Like you're just well practiced. I uh I was reading that Anakin posted about that, and I know they said that they weren't trying to like categorize people or broadly place people, but I looked at that and I was like, wow, I can't believe that we have two people. Rifle is very much one of the likes to know the numbers and hitboxes and all that stuff, and like looks at it all the time. And then I'm over here like, I'll just 5H you at some point. We'll figure it out from there. Frame data, who needs that? I'll just match when it looks like you're minus.
I mean, that works a lot of the time, but the times that it doesn't, it's really confusing.
Yeah. No,
But
I think it helps me a lot in bracket play. Like I haven't won a tournament, so I can't be like, oh, I'm so good in tournament. But the people I'm playing are literally you know, Ashen, Bren, legit. These other people who are always in the top four. So it's just figuring it out. I think the biking matchup is the hardest for me to just kind of like play because I have to play it a little differently than the other ones, and so that's why I'm struggling right now the most. Of like characters that I play a lot in bracket, it's biking because you have to play it because I have to play it a little differently. Because like with you, I'm just like I'm not thinking about frame data when we fight. I'm not thinking of optimal routing or anything.
yeah,
I'm just like
whenever whenever we fight, we're just hitting each other.
we have
It's
so many rounds
always
where it's just like
brawl.
trade 2P, trade 2P, back to neutral, trade 2P, trade 2P.
Yeah, I swear, like half the time it's just us staring at each other.
Like waiting to see the animation so we can try to pick a better move.
It's that one meme of like the bear and the wolf staring at each other, but we're
Yeah.
both just the wolf.
Yeah. I don't know. I just if I sit there and think about the numbers too hard, I play worse. Or like I don't get as good practice. It's better for me to like go into a fight, do a fight, and then think of an interaction that I had that I want to figure out, and then look at it later, and then just store that in the back of my mind rather than be thinking about it actively because I'll just play slower. I don't, it just slows me down. It makes me think too hard. It's like my biggest issue against Anakin. It's like I think too hard because Anakin is really good at the video game. I just can't. I just my biggest issue is thinking too hard. Like 87% of the time. The other times I just pick the wrong button. But a lot of that's because I thought too hard about it, and it made me slow. So like Yozansen, I could have Dragon Punched. I have to try to 6P now, but because now they're over me, I get counter hit and take way more damage. It's that kind of stuff.
Yeah. the biggest thing that gets me, especially in like bracket or tournament, is like I go into that like sort of like flow state during like a really intense match or a match that I know I'm gonna have to really focus on, like Ashen in like finals or something like that, or up against Twin or uh Cyro during the week that he won. I almost got him, but whenever I like focus up for that, and then noticing that I'm just not playing that well anymore, like the Scud Scuffle that just happened, like the I think it was yeah the first set of games with Ashen, where I at the end of it I'm like, damn, those were bad games. Not saying like, wow, Ashen, you're a terrible opponent. Those were bad games. Like I can't believe you won that, but more like the I played horribly,
Yeah.
which I think is that's a sentiment that a lot of people like should have with just fighting games in general, where it's the bad games do not necessarily mean that your opponent like somehow shouldn't have won it because of it, but that just wasn't like the top of your game. You know you could do better.
Hmm. So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. I really hope I can play in these last two tournaments. I feel like I've got a lot more, especially after the past couple days of practice, stuff built up to play better. I'm always, gonna. I don't think I could convincingly beat. Okay, that's not fair to myself. I think I could win 3 in a row against you. Is it likely? No. You're a very good player. Uh, but I don't want to describe myself as saying I couldn't beat you like that. But I would like to try to, try. And missing the tournaments would suck.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have beaten me like three in a row, and like on days where I wasn't playing badly.
I mean, there have been days where both of us have been playing good, and I've won more than 3 in a row, and then you've won more than 3 in a row. Like that's how fighting games are, though. You'll
Yeah,
see the
I've been
best in the
very
world just get perfected by somebody else. And you're like, wow, they must have played bad. It's like, no, the other person's also the best in the world and just did the thing that they were supposed to.
yeah, I've definitely been very like hit or miss too, with a lot of like the games where like I'll go on like a losing streak and then suddenly a winning streak, and I haven't changed a thing.
And some of that's like we're trying different stuff because it's practice, so
Yeah,
it's good to keep that in
like
mind. Like there's combos I've gone for that ultimately lost me the game because I dropped, because it was practice. Because I wanted to get like live runs of combos. I'm dropping a lot less of them now. By the way, just so you know, so I'm coming for you.
yeah, you definitely are.
I like
There's
to I like to think that I won't be anybody's pick to win the bracket, but I absolutely could dark horse win a bracket if I'm playing really well. That's my vision.
there is a I know like there's a few points in bracket where I'm sitting there doing something and I'm like, I wonder if I could do this, and I go for it just because it's I don't want to say like it's a match that I don't really have to focus in, because that's definitely a very mean thing to say. But
There,
there's definitely matches that
it's not
I'm
mean to
more
say
comfortable
there's
in.
yeah. It's not mean to say that there are matches you're more comfortable with. Like obviously you could. It's less so now, but like I don't know. Beginning of season 3, season 2, like you knew you could just throw whatever the fuck in our matches and recover, right? Uh, I wasn't doing long combos. My block strings weren't as rough, and like I wasn't baiting supers and dragon punches much. So like you could kind of
Yeah,
just
like
get away with stuff that you couldn't get away with now, and I wouldn't have blamed you for trying something because you're confident that one, you want to get the practice of doing it, but two, like that you could recover.
yeah, like I think a lot of it is there's fighting against a player and knowing that they fall for one of your character's tricks, and then just being able to say, "Hey, I'm gonna try this thing," and worst case scenario, if it fails, I
You
go
have a
back into
fallback.
neutral, and then I just do that trick again.
Mm-hmm. It's really tough because I don't really think there's a ton of stuff that I can do that you guys fall for a lot. Uh, or at least that you don't realize your fault. Like, how do I say this? You don't realize you're falling for something, but you either consciously or subconsciously adjust to it, which happens a lot. Uh, but that just means I have to figure out other stuff. Like the Soul Pente PRC on the same side JP and catching you like with like a quick high is has been good. I need to learn a few more tricks like that. There's stuff I can learn is the point. So I don't know. I'm really excited to keep playing, and I hope you're ready for me to show up to one of these brackets one day and finally fucking beat you in bracket.
I I look forward to that. Part of me part of me feels the the people who are constantly in the top should step out from the bracket to let more evenly matches happen. But then, I said it a little bit earlier, but we also really love the environment of playing everyone when they're at their best.
Yeah, it's fun. Like, it sucks that I can't break into the top yet, and like Rifle's gotten farther in the bracket than I have, and I want to I want to get that far. I want to be in winners finals. I want to be in grands, but like also it's fun playing against people who are better than me because it helps me see me getting better. Like the closer I come to beating you guys, the better I know I'm playing. Y'all used to never burst when I hit you with a close slash or a 5H. Now you guys do it almost instantly. That's a good feeling. So
Burst is such a funny mechanic that I'm so different about how I use it a lot of the time.
I tend to try to burst early in a round just because I can get it back.
I think about that, but then since tankier, we're the first hit through a round, I kind of bait out are you gonna use a wild assault? And if you do, I because of how powerful Sin is to getting a free wall break. Even if you do and you get a positive bonus, if I win the next engagement quickly after we both wake up on the other side, then I take away your positive bonus and I get mine, and you don't have burst.
Yeah, I mean there's risks, right? Um, I just know I have confidence in myself to be able to figure out how to win interactions on the other side. I try not to use my wild assault as much anymore. I've gotten better at picking up the combo from mid screen to wall, but sometimes I just need it. Like I don't feel confident about the next input for whatever reason, so I just use it.
Yeah, same thing. Like, especially when I'm out of stamina. There's a lot of times, especially in recent brackets, where you'll see me hit a far slash and I don't have stamina, or I have one, and I just go into a wild assault and just do a long stamina-less carry with far slash wild assault, close slash 2S 5H beak driver or elk hunt,
Mm-hmm.
and just essentially put you at least half screen.
Yeah. But anyway, we have been yapping for almost an hour and 40. I'm going to go ahead and say that we have got through a lot of what we're going to talk about. I really appreciate you coming on. I'm going to skip the music discussion this time because I do have to get ready for a stream and I do want to go get some water and some food and say hi to my significant other who just got home. So I'm
We'll
going to let you
save the
go.
discussion about even in Arcadia next time.
I mean, like anybody who's listening, it's going to be like, ooh, Sleep Token's the best. GG's. So, but I really appreciate you coming on short notice. I have been putting out feelers to get some people on the podcast, but nobody's really committed yet. So we're just kind of vibing. If you enjoyed the podcast, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I know I'm a real YouTuber now. I said the thing. We appreciate you all watching or listening, whether you're eating your breakfast, lunch, or dinner, evening, morning, or night. And we appreciate you coming on, Scott. Thank you for sitting here and chatting with us about Guilty Gear for a while.
fun. I like doing this. It's very fun to just kind of sit down and talk about things.
We do need to figure out something other than Guilty Gear to talk about soon. I have you on for a third, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But for everyone else, we hope you guys have a great night, great morning. I will be live at twitch.tv/NickMyDude at some point today when you're watching this. So come say hi.